New multi-select filtration, which is phenomenal. So you can see that we've brought in some new capabilities. Specifically in the jobs and leads, it follows the job and lead progress chart mentality. So you can filter by your types, members, so on and so forth, even through to your workflow management, which is super useful. But one of the big ones that we've been looking forward to getting out is the catalog and service management area of your software. So now you'll notice that we've actually put, I think previously there was only two select features up the top of the catalog. So you had your left-hand side, which was your categories, and up the top, I believe we just had brand and supplier. You can see we've expanded that now to really give you more capability in the software for fast filtration. And some of the more important I guess, filters that people were looking for as part of this development were supplier, makes perfect sense, but also the status. So you can quickly jump between your not available to order and your available to order materials. I know many of you will be utilizing the not available to order materials section for building things like your quote pricing ranges. So it's super handy to be able to quickly filter directly to that list, make any changes you need quickly, and then move on with your day, which is phenomenal. Brand, range, and finish have all come in, which is big. I know for a lot of companies, for example, if you deal with Laminex and you buy a lot of your board product through them, or Polytech, for example, then you might want to filter by the supplier, but then you might want to just jump directly to Formica, for example, and just make your life really easy for that filtration. The big one, though, is color, which is always a good fun filtration system. It's the only filter in our system which doesn't have a predefined setting. So what I mean by that is as you add more colors to your catalog, the list simply expands inevitably. So being able to have a nice, easy way in which you can filter an area, a category, a supplier, a brand, or a finish, and then duplicate that down on color will just make finding the things you're looking for so much easier. We've been very happy with this rollout so far. It's a very big rollout. It might not look like it, but it's a massive development in the back end of the software. So we are super pumped that so far we've had, excuse me, next to no issues with the rollout, which is good. So we can continue to roll that out into other areas of the software. So if you come across an area that you feel would benefit from this new filtration, and it's not just the multi-select anymore, we've also introduced the better search bar filtration within those drop downs, and that seems to be really stable and really awesome and really helping people find information much quicker. So if you do come across an area and you're like, I think this could really benefit from that, please do let us know. We're always open to those kinds of suggestions, always looking to make the software better. Cabinet Vision 2025 handling is now live. I can confirm it has been picked up by a couple of companies and is ready to go. For those of you who don't currently utilize the Cabinet Vision integration, but are thinking about it, I have just put a couple of notes here as to one of the primary benefits to that integration, and that is the purchase order material handling flow. So you imagine that you don't have to imagine, you do it every day. But in typical manufacturing processes, what would generally happen is Jobman as your ERP runs through the process. We handle your lead management, your quoting into your job. And then at a certain point, you will then go to engineer the job. That is to say, you'll utilize your CAD CAM to make sure that you've nested the products correctly to optimize your bill of materials, especially your boards or sheets, depending on your industry. And then obviously you want to step in and then also take advantage of the fact that that bill of materials coming from that nested operation generally has some really important hardware decisions. And our Cabinet Vision users, as well as we certainly, sorry, I should mention that we also integrate with, Mosaic, Microvallum, Winner Design, CabMaster, and several others. So you're not just limited to Cabinet Vision, but this is a very exciting development. For our Cabinet Vision users who are very comfortable with the idea of the solid setup packages, it means you have a lot of your hardware built in, which means when you make those dynamic changes in design, things like overheads and bringing on the Eventos systems and being able to modify those based on the size of the cabinet, a lot of smarts inside Cabinet Vision, you can now take advantage of those SKUs simply by designing the job, using our phenomenal tool called JM Sync, and then running a SQL refresh. What it will do is it will line up the job number in Cabinet Vision and Jobman and bring across the SKUs that match in those bill of materials. So for a lot of companies, that really takes the time and pressure out of purchase ordering. because naturally, as you've seen with the software, once those bill of materials are inside Jobman, you're one click away from being able to source them. So in one click, you can find if they're in inventory. One click, you can find if they're in transit, or move them to purchase order status. The other big thing this technology mitigates, of course, is human error. There's always that chance that between each of the departments, we know your staff are busy, you've always got plenty going on, but there's always that chance that somewhere between estimating, lead management, design, engineering, and then, of course, production of CNC through to the actual production of the products themselves, there's that chance that someone's going to accidentally enter the wrong SKU or number. So this mitigates that risk massively, which for most companies in and itself, aside from the speed boost, turns into an absolutely phenomenal return on investment. So if this is not something you've looked at, but something you'd like to consider, definitely reach out to us. I highly recommend the Cabinet Vision integration. In fact, I recommend all our CAD integrations. For this end, it is absolutely brilliant. Now, Cabinet Vision, we have the JM Sync for our other supported services. We have a really nice import functionality. It's really nice and clean, does the same thing. We've just been able to develop something a little bit more special with Cabinet Vision. And for those of you who were at the BSE show a couple of weeks ago, you would have seen how incredible that phenomenal connection is between Planet, Jobman, and BSE, and that ability to build virtually a seamless automated working factory now is absolutely amazing. So really, really pumped to see that. Really fantastic to be able to do more work with our partners. We have phenomenal relationships with all our all our CAD partners and our integration partners. And Planet is certainly one of those companies that goes a little bit next level to make sure they're helping to deliver solutions to market. And we're really pleased to be able to bring that out and provide you more benefit as well with the solution. So just so you know, the CV 2025 upgrade has been documented. So you can now go into your help bar, check out the Cabinet Vision integration or JM Sync, just search JM Sync, and you'll see the new documentation to line up with the new database files for CV 24 and 2025. This was a really nice quality of life feature that I was excited to see come into the software. This has been requested by a few companies. It's always strange. People say to me, "Oh, we put through these requests, and we know you guys are very responsive, but we just don't know if it comes in or what happens." And I always say the same thing. The best thing about dealing with Jobman is the fact that we listen and the fact that you can actually reach out to us. So this was a great one. This was a good suggestion by a couple of companies where if you're utilizing the time and attendance module in our system, we have some beautiful automation built in, so your team can just come in the morning, clock on, and then start working on their first productive tasks and measure time. And then over the course of the day, of course, that information fills up their payroll. And if you are in a country or an area that utilizes our support for such as Xero or MyOb for timesheet handling, then that automates via the API as well. So it's a really nice, clean, seamless system to allow you to essentially save a lot of time each week on HR. Unfortunately, not every country is supported currently by their APIs, so we're not able to give that full automation, which is sad, but obviously as they become available, we will definitely be jumping on board. We love to give our clients more benefit. So it does mean for those companies which are in countries or areas where this isn't supported, or potentially use a different accounting software or even a different time management software for your payroll handling, we thought it'd be nice just to present the earliest and latest activities on those payroll reports. So you can still see the breakdown. You can see the total number of hours worked per day versus each of the awards. So, normal time, time and a half, double time, all that, sick leave, holiday leave, assuming you've got all that set up, is all very easy and capable. But now you just have some extra columns in there where you can quickly and easily ascertain exactly when they got in the morning and when they got at night. This is particularly useful, we've discovered, for companies who have a rounding process. So Jobman has always been known for its accuracy. It's one of the things we focus on extremely hard when we're returning benefit to clients. So we tend to measure everything in the software down to the second, or at the worst case, the minute, so that you have absolutely precise information. That's our job, to give you the most precise information we can. And then for a lot of companies, they would then modify that information when it comes to pay rates and payroll. to cover in at a certain amount. And that's based on your awards, and there's an endless number of contracts out there. So our job is not to guess what that's going to be, but to give you that information. So this is much easier now. For example, here, most companies I imagine would pay from 8 till 3. So now it's really easy to see, really comfortable for you to manage, and you can just quickly put that information into your payroll settings. Another fantastic feature that has come in line with this is that these activity logs now also utilize from the office user drop and drag timesheet mentality. So even not just your kiosk users who are using the time and attendance, but your actual office users, whether or not they go in and start the operations and complete the operations that they're working on based on the agenda screens, if they're simply going in and filling their timesheet, which I know a lot of office users do, certainly one of the fast benefits of the software for filling out your day, then it will also pick up those activities. And I've got an example of that here. We've just gone in and dragged out my activities from the day precisely from 7:30 to 4:30. So it'll still pick up all of your staff, let you know what that total time is, and make your life really easy. And that's just more hours back in your week to do what you do best. This is a phenomenal feature that's starting to come throughout the software more and more. One of the great things about having a great scheduling software and a really good job management platform with a lot of automation is because we've got the smarts built in behind the platform to really save you a lot of time and get you a lot of buyback with the team and for your business, and of course, increase your profitability and scalability. The next part to that is now we can go through, and one of the big things that we have as a bit of a mantra in our company is less clicks are better. So I'm sure you can appreciate that. And it's great having awesome software that really helps buy you back a lot of time. But anywhere we find an area where we're like, you know what? If we can save you just one click, I know it's only one click, but if we could just save you that 0.1 of a second a day, that will add up over the year. And in its own way, the software will just make the experience better. We're very big about user experience here. So one of the areas we were able to quickly isolate and decide that that would be a really good benefit is the agenda screens. Now, the agenda screens really, for most companies, are the lifeblood of the software. I love agenda screens. They provide an opportunity not just to gain visibility over your operational management, broken down into the different areas, whether they be leads or jobs, but also the ability then to quickly interact with that screen to make changes. So for most companies, they'd be aware that if you click on the lead number or the job number inside the agenda screen, it pulls up the task dialog, and you can make some fast changes. You can assign members, assign labor centers to quickly move things between different operational areas. You can see things like files. You can set the target date and set the start dates from that area. All very easy. One click and make the modification. But as I said, if we can ever save you a click, and it's an easy way of us achieving that for you, believe me, we will do it. So you'll now notice, if you haven't experienced this, as part of the reason these webinars are here, so I can let you know about the new features. If you actually click on the target date itself, in this area, it would now immediately bring up the target date recalculation box. So rather than having to go to the dialog and choose target date, you can simply just go straight to the target date, make the change, hit save, off you go. And this still benefits from the interior smarts of the rest of the system. So you can utilize the drop down to decide whether or not you want all the tasks to move, like by moving this task, do we want everything else in the sequence to move? Do I only want the tasks after it, the tasks before it, or do not recalculate? So a good example might be you've got some cutting operations happening tomorrow, and you check your agenda screen the night before and you receive an email from the supplier saying, hey, we're not actually going to get that delivery there in the morning. It's not going to be there till late afternoon. We apologize. You can quickly now go into the cutting agenda screen, chuck on those target dates, and just move those 3 operations to the next day. And if you don't want to impact your final critical date, which for most companies would be installation or dispatch, you can simply choose do not recalculate, and it will simply move the cutting operation, but not everything else along the chain. So lots of flexibility there. And as always, any smarts you utilize around our target date calculation will in turn come through and utilize the benefit of the capacity and Intuit intelligence behind our scheduling system, which is absolutely fantastic. Or you can just ignore the capacity and just push the job through if you need to get it prioritized. So all that power now in one click, which is very exciting and something we certainly look for throughout the software. And anytime we can find something which will save you a click, Believe me, at some point or another, we will do it for you because we know how annoying it is. We use software every day, just like you. So anything we can do to improve your business and make things easy for your team and your user experience, we'll absolutely jump on, which is very exciting. Of course, one of the big things that we're really excited to bring into the software, and I think that was released this week, is the new format for job alert due dates. So alerts are one of the more powerful features in our software. Often, I believe, not misused, but not used enough in most companies. It's one of those weird things when you have a really good system in place, such as a software like Jobman, that really starts improving processes and speeding things up in your business and helping you scale and grow. It's often the bit that we forget is the mistakes that happen along the chain, and being able to know those mistakes live when they happen, have a process for them so that basically nothing gets really missed, or more importantly, there's no animosity or angst when those things go wrong, then phenomenal. And the fact that you can create alerts from the kiosk, which means your installation teams on site or your manufacturing teams downstairs in the factory, or even your team upstairs. So drafting and design, things go wrong, something needs to be redrafted, or we're checking material orders and something isn't quite making sense based on the inventory. That ability to create alerts and assign them to people so that they can double check what's going on and make a decision as to what happens next, all live, is amazing. However, we can always make things better. That's our mantra at Jobman. If we can take something that's awesome and make it even better, we will. And a massive user suggestion that came in, which we really liked, and we got onto it very quickly, was the idea of the ability to build due dates into your alerts. So you can see now that when you build an alert in the system, it's not just time stamping the reported by and who we're assigning to. There's a new filter now which will allow you to set the date, or the due date, so to speak, of the alert itself. Now, the advantage of this is you can imagine it, especially in companies that are producing a large amount of jobs each week, there can be a lot of alerts flying around. A lot of companies will have alerts set up for things like damaged parts, redesign, scheduling, purchase order receival, partial receivables, things that are happening constantly in the business. And if your job is, let's say, the production managers, you are actually the assignee for a lot of those alerts. It can get a bit overwhelming. You've got a lot of notifications coming in all the time, letting you know things are happening, and you've got to sort of be on top of it as a constant sort of thing, just to make sure that that's doing, but you're also busy yourself. So one of the very, very useful features that we can do just to help even that process out a bit for you is now, as a company, you can decide what the expected duration time for handling of those alerts is. So you basically say, hey, if it's a damaged part, we really want this to be prioritized. Therefore, if it isn't completed in X number of days, and I should say by it, the process isn't completed within 3 to 4 days, then we want to just remind someone that this needs to be done. It's pretty good priority. But you can push that right out. I think it goes out to about a week. So you got about 7 days in there, and you can say, look, so long as this is handled in the next 7 days, we're okay. And as a company process now, you can choose and let your staff know in creating that alert, set that due date. The benefit being now is you just get that extra layer of visibility, that extra layer of transparency, but most importantly, just that extra layer of making sure things don't get missed. And anywhere where the software can help companies certainly deliver on that aspect, we are more than happy to see what we can do to make that benefit known and available for our clients. And this has come through this week, and it's phenomenal. As part of that, we have also now included a completed status, like a finished status to alerts. And that's an important part. I'm going to go into the software in a minute. I'm actually going to show you where that sits because it's an important part of this process. One half is we need to be able to create the due dates. On the other half, we need to make sure that so long as the alerts move into a relevant status, which would be completed or finished, it's customizable. So don't worry if you've changed the names. I can show you how to change that for your business so you can still benefit from those alert statuses. But basically to say, so long as this alert moves into that status before this due date, we don't need to notify anyone. So now you have a really nice, clean, transparent system from start to finish. Create the alert, action the alert, move the status of the alert assign the alert to the right people, get them to do whatever needs to be done, whether it be a rework or a maintenance order, so on and so forth, and then have that alert go through to the completed status, and now it's done. If it isn't done in the time we expect within our company, re-notify people. Let them know that this needs to be done, and just in case they've missed it or they've been busy or whatever's happened, or more importantly, so they can follow up. For example, they might have actioned the alert, so it might have gone from reported to a status you might have set up for inaction or in progress, which is common. However, it hasn't been finalized. The team downstairs hasn't got the rework back out to site. And that's a problem because if the rework isn't back out on site and reinstalled, we don't get paid. So really fantastic feature. Really excited to see this come in, and looking forward to hearing a lot of positive responses based on that inclusion now in the software. Before I do dive into the software, though, I do want to make a quick mention that coming up on the 10th, 11th, of 12th of September, Jobman will be at the BSE Material Week. Very, very exciting. We're super pumped for this event. So if you are in Sydney, or even if not in Sydney and you are planning on coming across, we certainly look forward to seeing you there. We'll have a stand there. There will be a lot of software partners available on that day, so it's absolutely worth coming down. Even if you don't buy your machinery from BSE, I highly recommend you rock up because there's going to be some phenomenal software partners there, including us. So if you want to, meet the team face to face and have a conversation, it's definitely worth it. Or if you've just sort of been, you're just sort of new to Jobman and you're starting to think through the process of implementation and where you're going to go with the software, it's worth just having a chat to us, but also having that opportunity to come into an absolutely phenomenal setup and see what's going on. What's even more exciting, well, really more exciting if you know what's about to happen, is on the 10th, we have an amazing information session that's going to be the first of its kind in our industry, in the world, which is pretty awesome. And it's being hosted by Empire Blueprint and Jobman. It's a collaborative event. It's only an hour and a half. And basically, John Pierre from Empire Blueprint will be rocking up and unveiling some phenomenal new AI tools to really help take your business to the next level. And I will be there as part of that discussion as well, providing some information, education around bringing your teams in alignment with software, which is really cool. Now, I'm going to be honest, tickets are selling out pretty quick. They're free. It's all right. You just have to make it to the event. But we have a limited amount of space that we can bring people into. So I just wanted to take a moment in this webinar to mention it, so that if anyone sees this webinar in the next week or two, there's definitely an opportunity to get involved still. If you are thinking about coming down, I highly recommend it. I know what this reveal is going to be. It's absolutely massive. And as from an educational standpoint, for the actual event itself, it's a bit of a first of its kind. And I know that everybody is sort of, AI is very much the buzzword at the moment. Everyone's sort of talking about it. What I think is more interesting than simply just the generic ideology of AI is finding tools that will actually benefit your business. And I think that this is one of those few events in your life that you probably don't want to miss. So that's my plug. I'm not just plugging it because I'm going to be there. You can come listen to me talk anytime. I'm always producing videos and available. But to actually get Jean-Pierre and the Empire Blueprint team there with this new fantastic technology and how that will, potentially integrate and seamlessly work in the future with Jobman and things like that, plus your other technology spectrums. It's an independent standalone, just so you know. I can't say too much about it because it is a big launch, but definitely if you are in Sydney or planning on being in Sydney for that week, I highly recommend you jump on, grab a ticket. We are on the 10th, so it's only available. This event is only available the 10th. You can come any of the 3 days to see Jobman, but if you really want to see this launch and find out what's going on and get your hands on some pretty cool stuff, then I recommend you jump on, grab a ticket, and get involved. And I hope to see many of you there. I love being able to see people in person. Obviously, being a technology company, I get to talk to people all around the world all day, which is fantastic. But to me, it's just not the same as being able to be in a room with you and have a conversation face to face. So the opportunity is there. Get involved. We absolutely love it. If you'd like more information, reach out to me at the end of this webinar. You can email to me directly or email the team directly. Really, we'll get back to you pretty quick. sales@jobman.com, and we'll send you the links and we'll get you signed up, which is cool. All right, so let's have a quick dive in and have a look at some of the new stuff that's been happening so that you get a bit of a feel for what it can do and most importantly, how you can use it. That's always the big one. So don't need to cover most of the points. I think the slides there really mentioned what's new, what's going on, what's happening. As always, don't forget, you can come in and at any point you can check out our release notes every week. And every time we, of course, release into the system, we do pop those notes up for you so that not just you, but the whole team is aware of new features coming in. Definitely worth checking out because a lot of things do come through continuously in the software that you can gain benefit from. And as I said, often those are on the back of user suggestions. So you might, in fact, be one of the people that suggested that feature. And there it is. It's live. Happy days. Check it out. Something else I just wanted to quickly mention while we're on the topic of AI. Many of you will now notice that we have brought an AI answers tool into our help. And I'm going to be honest, this has been an absolute phenomenal game changer for our teams and our clients and our community. Now, the weird thing, I know I mentioned recently, moments ago, in fact, that AI is a bit of a strange thing. It's all the buzz, all the rage, but it's really about finding the right tool. And I've seen plenty of AI tools. I'm not gonna lie. I'm all over the technology that's available out there, and I'm going to be honest. Most I've seen are rubbish. I'm just going to be that honest. And the reason being is because AI is not intelligent. It's not actually artificial intelligence. It's just very powerful learning modules that are designed to find information and make correlations quite quickly. So the key to having a good AI tool is to having a good foundation. Now, this tool has been available in our system for a while, but we haven't brought it live for a very specific reason. Like I said, I've seen plenty of AI tools in my time, and most of them do not function the way that people will think they do and quite frustrating to use. The key is to give the tool a humongous amount of knowledge base to work with. So what we've done as a company, which many of you would be aware of, is we've spent the last 4 years documenting, videoing, creating webinars, academies, LMS, so much free education for our clients that it has a humongous knowledge base to draw from. And it was only at that point where we felt really comfortable that we've pretty much covered the majority of the software and the user functionality, and we've got enough videos and enough documentation and enough information that if it went looking for an answer, it would find it very easily, that we were able to release it. And it's been out for a couple of weeks now, and I have to admit, I am really, really, really amazed and appreciative of the number of users that have gone that way. It makes a lot of sense, right? At any point, you can email our team via support, but it's a ticket system. You wait in line. We get to things, there's a priority. We do our best to get back to most people within 24 hours, but usually a lot quicker than that, to be honest. But things do take a bit of time sometimes, certainly based on number of excuse me, number of volume of tickets coming through. So the ability now just to dive in, enter a few words and let the system come back with the answers that we would have come back with anyway is fantastic. And just to give you some interesting statistics, because I'm sure many people find this as interesting as I do, is keeping on top of how effective AI is as a solution. Right now, we have a 99.8% success rate of the answers sent to clients. That means for everyone that's used it so far, basically 99.8% of the time they've found the answer. Might have taken a couple of prompts, but they've got it very quickly and they've been able to move on with their day, make the changes in their software and step off. So it's essentially like having a support agent at your fingertips 24 hours a day, anywhere in the world, 7 days a week, which is absolutely phenomenal. And one of the great things about our system is if something is flagged as not providing a good enough answer, we then go in and obviously a support agent then covers in and talks to you and sends an email back to let you know what the actual answer should be. And then we, of course, have an opportunity to improve and update our documentation so that the system will get even better as it goes along. So really exciting. If you haven't checked that out, don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Can't break anything. Go in there, have a crack. You will find that 99.8% of the time, it will give you the answer straight away, which is absolutely huge, and get you moving on with your day, which is great. So let's have a look at a couple of these new features. Number one, the material breakdown filters and multi-select ready to go. This is very exciting. So you can see here, I've already started putting some filters in this morning just to give you an idea of how quick and easy this can be. I filtered by supplier and color, and just like that, we're bringing up a list, confined and based on each of these areas very quickly, very easily. I can then bring in, more filters. And if something is wrong or doesn't make sense, obviously, hopefully doesn't sell blood, I can remove those filters or just the single filter, and it will quickly refine that information. So these are fantastic. I also do really like the new search features in here. One of the best things about them is they're a little bit stable, and even if you're like me and you can't type very well, you can pretty much come in and you don't lose your search capability, which I think is huge. So this has certainly brought a massive amount of benefit throughout other areas of the software, such as the progress charts, leads and jobs. I know it's been getting hammered, people are loving it, but I know this is the big one a lot of companies are waiting for. We want the ability to filter and then refilter as well and say, okay, show me my Laminex products, but just show me all of my banding or edge tape, for example, and then even being able to take it to that next level again and say, okay, go find me the color. You can see I'm terrible at typing, so I absolutely love these new filters through the system. So you can come in and start double checking colors, make sure you're getting the right colors set, and then filter down. If not available, there are multi-select, so you can see them there. Obviously, I have no banding set up to those colors in that area. That's fine. I can remove the filters and then I can start working through the areas. Each of these filters are also now available in the Material Select browser as well. So this is super useful to note. I'm just going to come in here. I've got an estimate somewhere here. This one will do. This looks fantastic. Just update this here. And one of the good things now, as most of you would be aware, and I'm certainly sure you use plenty of this filtration when you're inside your quoting, the ability to come into your components now, absolutely amazing. So you can utilize the same filtration system to come through and start filtering the information really quickly to make that available. And then you can just add in quantities and colors and call it whatever you like. Might makes it easy for your team. See panel. There we go. Bang, just like that. I can take advantage of the multi-select filtration, find information really fast, and then update my settings as I need to do as quickly as possible. So just so you know, that is available now in the leads full screen. So this is all built in, so you can multi-select by a serious member types, members themselves, types of leads and jobs. So your differential between, say, builder, residential, commercial, and even source. This was a big one, being able to bring in the source category. I know a lot of people like to be able to quickly filter on their lead management as to where most of the leads are coming from. It's also available in the job screen, catalog screen materials, catalog screen services, and the progress charts all ready to go. So nice and easy. Excuse me, a bit of hay fever, I think. All nice and easy, ready to go at your fingertips. Have a play. Let us know. We're very excited so far. All the responses have been extremely positive about this rollout. So let us know as well if you find any other areas you'd like this to come into. Just so you know, we are planning on rolling this out into a couple of other areas already. So we might come back to you and say, hey, it's on the roadmap. Keep your eyes out for the release notes, and it will be coming soon. But plenty of awesomeness to be had there. The big part, though, I know that everyone's looking forward to is the release of the job alert updates. So, as I said now, whether you produce an alert from office user mode or kiosk mode, we now have this new fantastic due-in capability. There you go. It goes right out to 3 months, which is awesome. So you've got a lot of flexibility there as to how long you anticipate these will happen. And if I set this to 7 days and set the assignee to me, for example, and choose the type at this point, I can provide some notes, add some photos in, which is always good, and then quickly and easily create that alert. Now, once this alert is created and it comes in, if you do it from the office user management mode, obviously it will come directly to the job alerts area. If it's from the kiosk mode, however, you will be notified. So you get the alert. Love Jobman. Everything's hyperlinked. Just go straight where you need to go. Can see what's going on. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, we've got a problem. We need to recut that out, get that back out to site and reinstalled so that we can get moving with the day. And the key here now is the updation of statuses. So if I now take that and create a work order and update the status to in progress, so long as this has moved to the completed status by the due date, which you can now see live inside the alert system or the job alert system, I won't be re-notified to say that it's hasn't been handled. So all of that is built in. It's all automated logic. It's very easy. You just need your team to create the alert and pick the due days, and you're off and running. The most important part then is the ability now to create the statuses to say that we have a completed status. One of the best things about Jobman is the fact that virtually everything in the software is customizable. You can change names, you can make things suit your business, you can add things in. It's really cool. The one downside is if you make those changes, it actually makes it really hard for us to roll certain things out automatically into people's software. For example, we would have loved to have just rolled a completed status out into every platform so this worked off the bat. But unfortunately, if you changed your default statuses from completed or finished out into a different name, we have no way of ascertaining what you call completed. But the good news is really easy to get up and running. Come into settings, go into jobs, go into your alert statuses, and then choose the status that makes most sense to you for whatever you call completed. So I've actually changed my default to actioned, just so you can see this. And you simply go into status, hit update, and you can now see there is a new tick box to say that this is a finished status. And basically what that means is that every time an alert moves into this status, much like job closed or lead one, for example, would be other examples of finishing statuses in our software. So long as the alert moves into that status before the due date, you won't be notified that it needs to be done. And it's that easy. So the beauty of that is it can be customized to your business. If you have the default set up from the alerts from when you first started with the software, not a problem. That should already be set up to the default backend, which will be the completed or finished status from the outset. But it's that easy to get operational. And then all you need to do is make a process decision in your business as to what that looks like for your company and what the due dates should be moving forward. And that's it, that easy. As always, thank you very much for your time today. I do apologize that I started sneezing about halfway through. All of the information that I've covered today is available in the documentation, so you can jump in and ask our new AI friend. Doesn't have a name yet, just the AI friend to get you answers quicker. We'll call it the Jobman AI friend. But of course, the documentation is there. This video is there as well for you to be able to come back and check out that information. And then most importantly, at any point, if you want to take advantage of any things we've talked about, all of it is there at your fingertips, ready to go, so you can move forward. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you've got everything out of this webinar that you need to, thank you. Have a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Just to let everybody know, excuse me, because we are in Sydney in a fortnight's time, the next webinar has been postponed just because I won't be there, unfortunately. But I will be over in Sydney, so at the BSE Material Week, if you are planning on stopping by, please do come check it out and say hello. I'd really appreciate it. Love seeing people. But other than that, we will be back on deck on, I think, the 28th is the next one, with some new phenomenal developments coming out and a bit of a deep dive into a couple of areas that we've been getting a lot of information questions around. So continue with this process. I absolutely love this series, and it seems to get a lot of traction, a lot of good response. So thank you for your feedback. I do appreciate it. If you've got enough out of today, have a wonderful day. If you